Hey folks, I'm Mobile Geezer, and if this is your first time checking out my channel, please hit that subscribe button, tap the bell icon so you'll be notified of any new videos, and welcome. Hey folks, I just wanted to take a few minutes to discuss the upcoming Moto G7 family of phones, 4 phones of course, and just wanted to go through each one, see what you guys think about it. If you're interested in picking one up, I certainly am. And so I just wanted to discuss them a little bit with you, let you know what's coming in each one. So we'll start with the low end, the Moto G7 Play, that supposedly is coming in at $199, at least for those of us in the United States. It has a 5.7-inch display, a single 13 megapixel rear camera, an 8 megapixel front camera with flash. Interestingly, that's the only one that comes with a flash. And it'll shoot video at 1080p and 4K up to 60 frames per second, as they all will. The Moto G7 Play has a Snapdragon 632 processor, but only 2 gigabytes of RAM, which I think is the main reason why it's the low end of the 4. It comes with 32 gigabytes of storage, a 3000 milliamp battery, a 512 micro SD card, which they all will have, and it has the regular big notch that we're used to seeing on so many phones now. This is the only one of the 4 that has a plastic back. Comes with a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack, as they all do, thank goodness. Type-C connector, rear fingerprint sensor. This one has a LCD 720 display, and it comes with Android 9 Pie and Moto Actions, which of course they all do. Moving on to the Moto G7 Power, one notch up from the others. This one should be coming in at $249. It's got a 6.2-inch display, as all the rest do. A single rear camera at 12 megapixel rather than 13 like the Moto G7 Play, and an 8 megapixel front-facing camera. Once again, video at 1080p and 4K to 60 frames per second. A Snapdragon 632 with 4 gigabytes of RAM, so it should run a bit smoother than the Play. This one has 64 gigabytes of storage, not 32 like the Play. A 5000 milliamp battery, the biggest battery of any of the 4 phones. Once again, a 512 SD card. Again, the big notch. It's standard glass with a case, that all the rest are glass. 3.5 millimeter headphone jack, Type-C connector, rear fingerprint sensor, 720p LCD display, just like the Moto G7 Play, and of course Android 9 Pie and Moto Actions. Moving on to the main one, the Moto G7, should come in at $299. Again, a 6.2-inch display. This one has dual 12 and 5 megapixel cameras in the back, and again an 8 megapixel front-facing camera. Of course, the video 1080p and 4K to 60 frames per second. Has a Snapdragon 632 like the others with 4 gigabytes of RAM, 64 gigabytes of storage, a 3000 milliamp battery, once again 512 SD card. This has a teardrop notch, which I like a lot better. Gorilla Glass with a case. The glass on the Moto G7 Power is not Gorilla Glass. This one is also splash resistant, unlike the other 2. 3.5 headphone jack, Type-C connector, rear fingerprint sensor. This one has an LCD 1080p resolution display, so we've moved up a bit. And also has Dolby Audio included for a much better sound experience. Once again, Android 9 Pie and Moto Actions. And the highest rated of the 4, the Moto G7 Plus, should come in at $340. Now, just like the Moto G6 Plus, this is not official in the United States, but last year I just went out on Amazon and bought it after I checked the bands. The bands work great on T-Mobile. I've been very happy with it, no problem. I've looked up the bands for the G7 Plus, same deal, should work on T-Mobile just fine. So hopefully I'll go out and get it on Amazon just like I did last year. But if not, I'll get the Moto G7, which based on the G6, I should love like many people did. So the G7 Plus specs, again a 6.2-inch display. This one has dual 16 and 5 megapixel cameras on the back with OIS, which is much better. 12 megapixel front-facing camera, once again 1080p and 4K video up to 60 frames per second. This one has a Snapdragon 636, better than the other Snapdragon 632s on the other phones, and 4 gigabytes of RAM, 64 gigabytes of storage, 3000 milliamp battery, 512 micro SD card. Once again, the teardrop notch, which I'm grateful for that. Gorilla Glass with a case, again splash resistant like the regular Moto G7. 3.5-inch headphone jack, Type-C connector, rear fingerprint sensor, LCD display, 1080p also like the Moto G7, Dolby Audio again, and of course Android 9 Pie and the Moto Actions. So, any of you interested in picking up one of the Moto G7s? Let me know in the comments what you think, and if you want to get one as soon as they come out. As far as I can tell, they should be out and available for us to buy in most of Europe and the United States March 1st or sometime very near March 1st. So that's all I wanted to say today. As always, comments are welcome, and thanks for watching.
Yeah.